So here's another example like you might see in homework. Michael and Stephanie jointly bought the half meatball, half vegetarian 12-inch sub shown to the right for $4. They plan to divide the sandwich fairly using the divider-chooser method. Michael likes meatball subs 3 times as much as vegetarian subs. Stephanie is vegetarian and does not eat meat. Assume that Michael does not know that Stephanie is vegetarian. Also assume that the sandwich can only be cut vertically. That means straight down, right, at some places, vertically. And now we're going to look at the questions that they've asked us. So it seems, first of all, they're going to ask us or tell us that Michael is the divider. And we want to know how these different cuts would have values for Michael. So we need to think about this sandwich in Michael's eyes. So I'm just going to kind of sketch down here, veggie, meatball. We know that Michael prefers meatball 3 times as much. So we can mark that or represent that with 3x and x. And x plus 3x will give us the whole value of the pizza. Remember that of the sandwich. Remember that the whole value is $4. 4x equals 4, so x must be 1. So what do we now know? We now know that the veggie side is worth $1 to Michael, and that the meatball side is worth $3. And it's these values that we're going to keep in mind. These values are going to help us do the rest of the problem. So the veggie half was worth 3. Let's put that answer. The meatball, the veggie half was worth 1, and the meatball was worth 3. Let me erase that, make that better. $1. And this $1 and $3 is going to help us answer all these other questions. So the next piece they're talking about is all of the vegetarian and half of the meatball. What does that look like in a picture? All of the vegetarian and halfway down the meatball. They're telling us that would be the 0 to 9 inch piece. And it makes sense. 6 inches would be all the veggie, and 6 to 9 would be half of the meatball. So if we want to find the value of this piece, well, we know the veggie half is worth $1. And the whole meatball was worth $3. So 1/2 times 3. What's half of $3? 1.5, $1.50. So what's the piece that we're concerned about? All of the veggie, half of the meatball. We put that together. We've got $1 put together with $1.50 makes $2.50 becomes the value of that 0 to 9 piece. So 2.50. What about this piece? This piece, number 4, says only half of the meatball. So let's erase. We actually already know that from our picture, but just to make it clearer. And we don't even need the picture. What does half of the meatball mean? Half of the meatball value. What's the meatball value for Michael? $3. So 1/2 times 3, because that's what meatball is $1.50. So half of the meatball would have a value of $1.50. I'm going to erase that work and just write the final answer. $1.50. Okay, can we see our answer so far? That was $2. Okay, what about this? All the vegetarian and 1/3 of the meatball. Well, veggie plus 1/3 times meatball is a way we could imagine this, even without a picture. What do we know that the vegetarian is worth? The veggie is worth $1 plus 1/3 times what's the meatball worth? The meatball is worth $3. And 1 plus 1/3 times 3, put it in your calculator, makes 1 plus 1, which makes a value of $2. So all of the veggie plus third of the meatball is $2. And then now 2/3, or only 2/3 of the meatball, we don't really need a picture. 2/3 times the value of the meatball. What's the meatball value? 3. Put that in your calculator. 2/3 of 3 equals $2. So only 2/3 of the meatball would be worth $2. All of these pieces here are going to help us with the next question, because again, they're asking us, now that we know how Michael values different parts of this sandwich, how would he cut it so that when we're using the divider-chooser method, he won't mind which side he gets. He'll have his fair share value on each side. So we're looking for a cut that's going to have Michael's fair share value on each side. Well, what's the fair share value here? Remember, there's a formula for fair share value. What's the total value of this sandwich? $4. From there, how many people are sharing it? Michael and Stephanie, divide by 2. Fair share value is 2. So we're looking for a cut that'll be $2 worth on this side and $2 worth on that side. Where do we cut this sandwich so that it's 2 on one side and 2 on the other? Let's see, would it be a 0 to 8 cut? Well, we can go back up and look at our work here that we've done before. Do we already know what 0 to 8 is worth? Right here, $2. And do we already know what 8 to 12 is worth? $2. This one looks like the answer because this is one which would be a $2 piece. We want each side to have a value of $2. So we didn't have to go any further to find the solution to this one. If we checked out the other pieces, we would have seen that they would not have quite worked, and almost everything we need is up in the previous section in A. Okay, so that's one example. Let's go on. There's more to this question. We'll do it in the next video. Now we've seen how Michael would cut. The next look we want to look at is, so after Michael cuts, which of these would Stephanie choose? That's what we'll look at in the next video. Would she choose the 0 to 8 or the 8 to 12? We'll do that in the next video.